Okay, 91.7 WLFR Pomona. Here we are with Adam Elk returning to Strange Ways Radio from the Mommyheads, if only virtually, but wonderful to have you back again, sir.
Wonderful to be back. Love the station, and we appreciate you playing the music. And when you said let's do this, I was psyched. I'm basically sitting at home like everybody else, so why not?
Yeah, yeah. This, to say the least, this has been a crazy year. I know a lot of bands have been having trouble. I'm not dealing with it. I know a lot of them have been adapting, doing virtual performances. How have the Mommyheads coped?
Well, we toured a lot in the 90s, like a lot, and we kind of got it out of our system. And now we're not so much a touring band, so we don't rely on it, and we have our day jobs, and we're okay with the balance that we have. And we're actually more a recording band now, and so in a way we're actually thriving a little bit. Like, we're stuck at home, and we don't need a reason to play hooky from work to be at home now. Like, we have this reason. So now we're playing hooky from work a little more, and we actually have 2 more records in the can, and we've probably been the most productive we've been in a long time because there's just nothing else to do but make music, which is really not a bad thing.
Yeah, it's great. Yeah. Well, it's great on the productive side, I should say. Excuse me, but yeah, yes. As I've been seeing what you've been putting out the last couple of years, I've been thinking, wow, these guys are being prolific right now. Yeah.
I think it's great. I mean, I was always kind of in awe of like the Kinks from the late 60s to the late 70s, where
right,
5 records a year. And I've always been a little like, wow, yeah, like how, and also Guided by Voices, like, how do you guys have lives? But now I get it. Like,
yeah,
you have to make
them too. Yeah.
So right. You wonder, like, is the quality good if you're making this much music? Like, a lot of bands, I just saw a band was breaking up and they had put out 3 records through their whole career, and I'm thinking, that's not that much, So I wonder about the quality sometimes, but then you listen to the Kinks records and they're all great, and then Guided by Voices are great records. And so if you just focus on it and make it a priority to be as best as you can, and it just happens that you are prolific, then hopefully the 2 work together. You're just you prolific and you can put out good stuff, and that's really the desire that we have, to be
right. Yes. Yes. In addition to putting out so much good stuff, you are releasing your more classic albums from the 90s. Speaking of which, we do have your sophomore album here released this week, I think, or last week, Coming Into Beauty.
Yes, that was our second official record, and it came out on Simple Machines, and they were a great label. Back in the day when indie really meant independent, it wasn't just like a catchphrase.
Right.
Yeah, so that it was basically run out of a basement, and they would print each CD and cassette, just one at a time. And we did a thing called Swiss Army Knife, where it was all the Simple Machines, and each artist got to be a Simple Machine. And we were backed up against David Grohl's first demos after Nirvana, because he was from DC, and he actually was really a big fan of this label and put out his early first Foo Fighter demos on the label, and we were back to back. So we were like, this is really cool. So we put out the full album, and it was hard back then. Like, you needed money to record, and to master. Like we didn't really master it. We didn't know what it meant. And it was the quietest record ever made because of that. Like forget about Spotify. You'd never hear this record if it was up against anything. And then it did well amongst musicians, but never really had a chance at widestream sort of radio acceptance and college radio. And so we wanted to re-release it. So we had Fred Kevorkian remaster it, and it's like a whole different record now. And our radio guys said, this is more current now than it was back then. It sounds, after, emo core and all these different sort of sensitive rock trends that have passed by after grunge, and like Death Cab for Cutie and all these bands, that this record should have come out 10 years later. So we were a little early. And so it's nice to see people really digging it now, because it was the 12th most added in college radio. I'm like, this is great. We'll just keep reissuing records. So that's really the story behind that, to sort of, you never know with music. Sometimes it's really out of time. It's out of sync with fashion and what's happening. And you can't take it personally. And you put it out there. If it doesn't work, you take it back, and then you wait and try it again, and it's really interesting. It's like being in a time machine, the H.G. Wells, like, how about this year? How about this year? Oh, this year's good, So,
yeah.
Yeah.
Excuse me. Awesome. Okay. Speaking of this album, it is jam-packed. You have, 20 tracks on here?
15 on the record and 5 extra bonus tracks.
15.
We have
wow.
on Bandcamp.
Oh my gosh.
It's too much music.
Okay. Hey, tell us a bit, a bit about the recording of it and jam packing it all in there.
Yeah, I mean, back in the day, we didn't know about cutting it off. Like, we just, you remember, like, CDs came out, records, you had to put 5 songs on a side.
Right.
It ended up being a great medium because it restricted you, and you got the best songs on the record, hopefully, and then you were out, And with CDs were kind of new back then, and you just threw everything on there. Like, there was no end. So it kind of hurt us a little bit. Like, there's maybe some songs we shouldn't have put on, but it's a document now, It's like, many documents that we're aware of are a lot longer, and the first couple of lines, like Declaration of Independence or the Gettysburg, like, you don't know the whole thing. So I'm hoping that people just like, they listen to most of it and dig it, but they don't have to listen to all of it. But I think the CD started making the listener burnt the listener out a little bit back in the, it's too much music. And the record came back almost as a limitation. I mean, you're a listener, and you like a great record. Would you agree with me? An LP perfect?
To be honest, it depends on my mood at the time and even how much time I have, honestly. So okay. It can at sometimes, yes. Yeah.
Sometimes CDs with 20 songs is too much. 21 acoustic? 30-year-old song if you'd like to hear it.
Oh, sure. Please.
Right.
What's it called? What are you going to play for us?
I'll play the first song on the record. It's called Wedding Day.
Yes, very good.
Written when I was 18 years old, and it still kind of feels like that. All right, here we go. Love is like the sun. If you stare too long, your eyes burn up, and there's not enough seeing night dogs to take me to your house. On one hand, there's the baby. If it's gonna be born, it needs a family. On the other hand is my finger pointing to a travel brochure. Oh, The bigger the idea, the harder it will fall. And you, my dear, I don't want to hurt at all. Everyone was smiling as I walked by with the bride, and then it started raining. We had to call it off and go inside. Oh, the bigger the idea, the harder it will fall. And you, my dear, I don't want to hurt at all. On our wedding day, did I hear you say everything was going to be alright? Everything was going to be It's kind of the abridged version.
Beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful though.
Thanks. That's
Wonderful. Wedding day, yes. Okay. All right. Hey, about what made you come up with that particular song?
It was like I was thinking about deep stuff, and 18, 19 years old, like getting married, and it's like an insane proposition, like
Right.
how do you do that? And so that was basically that song, like all the things that can go wrong on a wedding day, or it just seemed like such adult stuff. So
Sure.
it's really
Sure.
very innocent. It's kind of refreshing. It's very innocent and very it just sounds like a 19-year-old guy thinking about stuff, like bigger stuff than just buying records and going to shows. And so it's fun to play it. It really is. It brings me back. It's like looking at old photos, it's pretty
Yeah. Nice. Yeah. Okay. Hey, one thing that I think is really fun about you guys, right? Hey, you have some sense of humor. Your previous album, you called it the New Kings of Pop. How did that come about?
It's a funny song. And I keep referencing this one time when I pulled up in my minivan with young little babies, and I still had long hair. And I looked over and there was another guy in a minivan, 2 kids looking at me, and we both gave us each other's look like, do we look like that? Like, is this really who we are now? And also, I know a lot of talented people that are my age, that are our age, that just happen to be in the suburbs and just are great, but they're just not clubbing and they're not the vitalness of going out, which obviously COVID has disrupted, so it doesn't even matter. But
yeah,
you kind of like you're missing something happening. There's something happening somewhere, but you're stuck in suburbia. And so what if the next Michael Jackson is living in suburbia, the next Prince? They just don't have the hair and the walk, and the talk, like what if they're great music, great artists, and they like we're missing out. And that's what that song was about.
Gotcha. Yeah. Interesting. All right. So
is there any way to pause it?
Paul, you got it. I'll pause right now for you. Resume. Okay, welcome back. Everything okay then, I hope.
Yeah. So New Kings of Pop. That was that came out last year. It did pretty well. It was in the top 50 of college. So we were pretty surprised, guys.
Awesome. Yeah.
And you know, about the humor part of it, I think we just always had humor. It's like you can't take yourself too seriously. I'm a Brooklyn kid. It's like if you didn't find humor in everyday life, it wasn't it. You know, you're taking it too seriously, and you know, I try to get my kids to listen to like Rodney Dangerfield. You know, who's like, you know what I mean? Or Richard Lewis. It's like we have the best comedians. So I feel like if that's in your music, then maybe that's a good thing, not to take yourself too seriously.
Sure.
So, but I'll play New Kings of Pop. Let's try this out. It's the first time I'm playing this. All right. Citizens of the world are getting so frustrated. They know that golden throne has long been abdicated. They cried 1,000 tears as they wandered off to bed. They felt it in the air. They knew the king was dead. How can a middle-aged man with slightly thinning hair rock in a minivan with melodies to spare, who never had a taste for the adoring crowd, who never did desire to sing his songs out loud? Will he ever have a chance at a clear shot at the crown? Will he ever quite believe of the power of his sound? But he never will give up until he is the new king of pop. Delusions are the only way to make it to the top. The new king of pop. Even if he lost his way, he might never stop. Citizens of the world are getting tired of waiting. The process is so slow. They're sick of this debating. The time to act is now. We can't rely on luck. Our hearts are still broken since the one true band broke up. As soon as they play out, they shake loose from the grips. That slight familiar feeling, the suburban deep eclipse. They set up their PA in another roadside bar and pass around the hat till they climb back in the car. Will they ever have a chance at a real shot at the crown? Will they ever quite believe in the power of their sound? But they never will give up until they are the new kings of pop. Delusions are the only way to make it to the top. The new kings of pop. Even if they lost their way, they might never stop.
That was great. That was great. Yes.
It's like operatic, serious, but goofy lyrics.
Yeah. Yes, right from the start, you guys always took chances, and as I can tell, I'm going back to your release here, coming into beauty. I mean, speaking of which, a song like Pigeon in Your Tongue. I was just listening to that yesterday. I'm going like, Oh, wow.
Let's just say we were experimenting with stuff back then, and it wasn't.
Oh,
just,
yeah.
it wasn't just normal
It
thing.
was good. Well, yeah. Oh,
It goes down some interesting avenues. It's almost like Frank Zappa-esque. It pushes you a little, you know.
I was just going to ask you about Frank Zappa. You brought him up first, definitely. Yes, okay. Definitely reminded me of him. Yeah.
One of the best bands who ever existed, and he was basically one of the best producers. He brought Captain Beefheart. They were old friends from high school, and awesome. Trout Mask Replica is a document for the ages. It should be in the Smithsonian. It's Captain Beefheart was incredible. Just a true artist, always creating. Died too early. Could have made 20 more records. Same with Todd Rundgren. We love Todd Rundgren, and there's a lot in all of that music. There's always a tongue-in-cheek element, which you have to have tongue-in-cheek. I think that great progressive music is great, but when it gets too serious about elves and goblins, they lose me a little. But when it, that's why Lamb Lies Down on Broadway is so great, because it has a New York edge, and you got to balance it out. And I think that Zappa had so much humor, and he really balanced out some of his crazy music and the rock, that I think it's a real lesson for young musicians of this day and age.
Yeah. Right. I was just listening to our own station here, WLFR. If you're still listening, everyone, hey. But on our mega seg, which plays while a live DJ is not there, and things pop up there at random. And I was just listening on it. Frank Zappa doing Johnny Cash's excuse me. I'm blanking out, and I love the song so much. I'm Bring a Fire. Excuse me. Okay. I'm completely forgot Zappa covered Bring a Fire. I'm going like, what's this? I'm going like, wow.
Throughout his whole career, when he got interviewed, the interviewer would always say, you could write a regular pop song, right? And he's like, yeah, but I don't want to. But
right.
Ring of Fire is pretty awesome.
Yeah. Excuse me.
You need a Frank Zappa now, I think.
We need a what? Zappa what?
Zappa right now in this day and age.
Oh, yeah. He definitely would liven things up. I'm sure of that.
100%. So it's been interesting. We have 2 more records in the can. We're gonna put a record out in the summer. Pretty stoked.
Oh wow.
We have the
well, hey, looking forward to it. Did you pick an album name for it yet?
Age of Isolation.
Oh my gosh. It'll fit.
It's like too close to home for people, right? We're gonna have to put that out. But it's true.
I'm gonna have to what? I'm sorry, I didn't hear that right.
That big title out with some music that's not all dreary,
Yeah. Yes. Wow. Well, you heard it here first, people. What's coming down the pike. All right. Well, we are here. I'm pushing your release here also. Are there any favorite tracks on there?
Yeah, the favorite since then has been Like a Brick.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like has always been. It's a very simple song, and I really like that. I like Wedding Day. Um, I think those two are the big standouts for me. Also, I Started Breathing has a mandolin, and it's very, very eclectic, and it almost sounds like early world music, but not cheesy.
Mhm.
It's kind of like alternative meets world, somewhere in that middle. Um, I could actually play Brick if you want me to do a live thing. Do we have enough time?
Sure, why not? Why? Yeah, sure.
We get my headphones on.
Yes, sir.
You'll see the simplicity of this one. This is basically another song by an 18-year-old thinking about mortality and purpose. A fig tree looks into the sky and wonders what it's like to be a cloud, looks into a carriage and wonders what it's like to be a baby, looks in a building and it wonders what it's like to be a brick, holding up 100 people or so. Wish I could tell you, but I don't know. I barely can hold up myself. What it's like to be a brick. It's not alive, but it serves its purpose. I wish that I could only serve the purpose. I wonder what it's like to be a Surah looks into a book and wonders what it's like to be the owner of a big casino, who wonders what it's like to be a bird in the sky, who wonders what it's like to be a brick, holding up 100 people or so. Wish I could tell you, but I don't know, 'cause I barely can hold up myself. What it's like to be a brick. It's not alive, but it serves its purpose. I wish that I could only serve the purpose. I wonder what it's like to be a... That's Like a Brick.
Yeah, yep. Yes, very okay. Very subtle ending there too. Just drops off.
Could you pause it one more time?
You got it. Welcome back again. I hope everything's okay.
Yeah, everything's fine. We just have some stuff going on upstairs trying to
Yes,
sound quiet.
I understand. Oh, okay. All right. We've been focusing so much about you right now. How about telling us how the other band members are doing?
Well, the bass player got COVID and survived. I got
Oh
COVID.
no!
It's
Did
just
you? Oh,
just the flu.
Oh no! Don't say that. No.
You gotta protect your lungs. Protect your lungs.
Yes.
The keyboardist is in Cape Cod, and he's doing fine, staying busy writing a book. The drummer, Dan, is in Beacon, and he's basically staying in his basement and working and separating himself. So we do have our sort of bubble that we get together and play. We make sure that we're tested and before we go in, and everybody's kosher, and then we're gonna meet this weekend and
Good.
have some more music. And it's kind of like you have your little bubble where everybody's COVID free, and then you expand from there if you want, or you keep it, and that's our little bubble. And more than ever, I'm really, I feel bad for the 20-year-old right now who wants to start a band, because it's tough. It's tough to.
Yes.
So I feel very fortunate to have guys that I can jive with and hang with and laugh with and play with and bounce ideas off. It feels like its weight is in gold. Basically, every moment is precious, and that's how we all hopefully feel. And also I feel fortunate to be a creator, because I can sit in my house and make something and not feel like time is going by, and with nothing good happening. Like, I feel like I'm actually utilizing my time well during COVID time. So we feel very, very fortunate and very blessed to have what we have, really. Music doesn't have to be live. I love live music. It's my favorite way to take it in, but we have other formats, and that it as a society to document music and the way we take it in, it's amazing that we can get through something like this mentally unscathed by taking in music and let it do its thing to us, which is uplift us and make us feel better, So that's.
Oh yes. Oh yes. I am looking at your home studio here. All right, right on the Zoom call here. For our listeners who can't see it, right? It is amazing. You got like 4 different keyboards, no, 5 different keyboards, all set up right around you. Pretty cool stuff. Oh, what's that? I didn't hear you right.
An interesting thing happened. I'm a guitar player, so I've only had some like 3 or 4 keyboards. My son works at a video store, and the owner of the building passed away, and he was a synth nut from the 70s and 80s. And I went to his daughter, and she didn't know what to do with it, so I just gave her a bunch of money and said, I'd like to sort of bring these keyboards back to life. And so that was my COVID plan last year. And I brought like all these cool old keyboards, 2 ARP 2600s and Moogs and Oberheims. And now I'm a keyboard fanatic. I can't stop playing, 70s, mid 80s keyboards. And they do have a sound. They're analog, which means that they drift and they have distortion and they sound very human-like, unlike digital synths. And for a guitar player, I'm just in love with some of these sounds.
Wow.
I mean, that's like, Emerson, Lake and Palmer right there.
Right.
So the next record is going to have it's going to be having a lot of these keyboards featured, which I'm really stoked about. It's going to be a real throwback, like late 70s progressive sounding record, which would be fun.
Nice.
He'll open up the mail and listen.
Looking forward to it, my friend. Looking forward to it. Awesome. Oh boy. Okay. Hey, all right. Hey, okay. Hey, what are the best ways for people to find you online? I know you have the mommyheads.com, or is it just mommyheads.com? I forget right now.
That's a good question. I think it's just mommyheads.com.
Right.
I mentioned this last time. The great thing about having such a bad name is the .coms and .nets are all wide open. If you had a cool name, it'd be tough. Yeah, it's just mommyheads.com. And you could go to Bandcamp. The amazing thing is you have a lot of artists that rely on labels and CD sales and touring, and they're struggling right now. because they don't have the touring, which has really become the major profit center for a lot of artists. And then it's hard to go out to record stores now. You know, they were closed. And so actual product was tough. And you can't rely on Spotify because, you know, 1 million downloads is $1, right? So really the best way to make money for an artist is Bandcamp. And somehow we've, just from the fans that we have, you know, the couple thousand fans that really want to know what we're up to, we sell enough through Bandcamp. Whereas if you sell $10 worth of music, you get $8, which is an amazing deal. We've managed to,
Good.
yeah, it's not like Spotify. We've managed to get a ball rolling where the sales cover the costs. And so as an artist, you know, we have to have our jobs, but as an artist, we don't have to really worry too much about going into debt. We went more into debt when we were done with Geffen than we've ever been before, because we had to keep up the image and the hotels, and you know, you start running with the big boys and you start going into debt trying to stay up in that race. And now to the ground, and actually the band is self-sufficient, which is amazing. That people can really pay direct through Bandcamp. I think it's a wonderful platform, and I'm not into a lot of the platforms. I know that Pledge Music had issues and all these different, you know, where you put money up towards making a record. But Bandcamp seems to be really great. You know, it's a great source of information, and you can see all the records, and you get actual AIFs. It's not like iTunes, where if you can't remember your password, you lose your whole library.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, right. So you own the music.
Yeah.
You can get lyrics, you get artwork, you get whatever we're up to. The other thing is we do a subscribe thing, a Patreon or whatever it's called, and that's been really good. We give fans like a song a month, and they pay $1 a month. So for $1, they get a song. And if you're into that kind of thing, we're starting to do it. So
yeah, nice. I checked that out for a podcast that I used to like to listen to. I think it is patreon.com, and you search out whatever artist you like. Yeah, very good.
that's great. You know, they have these systems. A lot of times these systems are set up by musicians. There's no way Bandcamp are not a bunch of musicians in a warehouse somewhere, just, you know, making it easier. They have free Fridays once a month or once every 2 months where they don't take a cut. I mean, that has to be musicians thinking that way, right?
You would think that, yes.
Yeah, right? It's when you get these, like, you know, people that graduated top of their class at Harvard Business coming in, like, they're like, whoa. So, you know, I think it's wonderful. I think whenever, you know, the musician community or people who love music get a whiff of that sort of sensitivity to the needs of musicians who are not doing great, I think we want to support it. So, and the same with radio, what you're doing. You know, whatever you need, if you ever need it, you're going to get it, because your support over the years has been so great. It's the same thing.
Great. Thank you, man. Okay. All right. Hey, time is flying by. I am going to have to round things out, mainly to make room for a couple more tracks I can play for you. All right. Hey, people can find you on mommyheads.com. I know you're on Facebook and the other socials also, aren't you?
We do Facebook, we do Twitter, Instagram is an accident, like it just happens.
Yeah.
All to know all of them. We don't do Twitch or I think Facebook, the old school Facebook, is a good way to find out stuff. So
nice.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for making the time here for us. And and for performing live. It is always a pleasure having you on the show, whether it's in person or virtually, as it is now.
I look forward to the WLFR COVID is over, let's rock out show. Let's set it up.
Oh, that sounds good to me. Yes. What's that? I didn't hear that because of.
We'll do a whole marathon of music. We'll just do like 20.
Oh, wow. Sounds good, my friend. Sounds good. All the best of luck to you. I hope it goes on better and better.
Keep doing what you're doing, man. We love it. Keep it up.
Likewise. Thank you very much.
All right.
All right. I'll stop recording. Here we go.
Cool. So